Elon Musk, the $2 trillion bet. On June 12, 2026, a company that had spent more than 2 decades outside the stock market finally opened its doors to the public. SpaceX priced its shares at $135 each and raised approximately $75 billion, the largest initial public offering in United States history. Investors rushed in. Within days, SpaceX shares reached $225.64, pushing the company's market value beyond $2 trillion. Then the excitement began to fade. By June 26th, the stock had closed at $153.23. It had risen slightly that day, but it was already more than 32% below the peak it had reached only 10 days earlier. And behind the rockets, satellites, and enormous valuation was another number. SpaceX had reported a net loss of approximately $4.9 billion for 2025. So what exactly were investors buying? A rocket company? A global satellite network? An artificial intelligence business? A social media platform? The answer was all of them. Because by 2026, SpaceX was no longer simply a company that launched rockets. It had acquired Elon Musk's artificial intelligence company, xAI. And xAI had previously acquired X, the social media platform once known as Twitter. Rockets, satellites, artificial intelligence, social media, and perhaps one day Mars, all connected inside one enormous corporate empire. But before SpaceX was valued in the trillions, it was a struggling company facing one final chance to survive. September 28, 2008, a small rocket named Falcon stood on a launch pad on Amalek Island in the Pacific Ocean. SpaceX had already tried to launch Falcon 1 3 times. The first attempt failed in 2006, the second failed in 2007, the third failed in August 2008. 3 launches, 3 failures. Now came the 4th attempt. Another failure could have ended the company. The engines ignited. Falcon 1 rose from the island and climbed through the atmosphere. This time, it did not fall back. It reached orbit. Falcon 1 became the first privately developed, liquid-fueled rocket to orbit Earth. Less than 3 months later, NASA awarded SpaceX a contract worth $1.6 billion for 12 cargo missions to the International Space Station. One successful launch had changed the future of the company. But while SpaceX was fighting to escape Earth, another company connected to Musk was struggling to survive on it. Elon Musk was born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa. He became interested in computers at a young age and later moved to Canada before continuing to the United States. In 1995, Musk, his brother Kimball, and businessman Greg Curry started the company that became Zip2. Zip2 helped newspapers place maps, business listings, and local information on the internet. Today, that idea sounds ordinary. In the mid-1990s, it was a gamble on a future that had not fully arrived. In 1999, Compaq purchased Zip2 for approximately $307 million. Musk then created an online financial services company called X.com. After a merger and a complicated leadership struggle, the company became part of PayPal. In 2002, eBay purchased PayPal in a transaction valued at approximately $1.5 billion. Musk could have protected his money and lived comfortably for the rest of his life. Instead, he placed much of his fortune into 2 industries famous for consuming enormous amounts of money: rockets and automobiles. Tesla had already been founded when Musk joined its board in April 2004. He became its chief executive in October 2008. During the same year, Falcon 1 finally reached orbit and the global financial crisis shook the economy. At the time, electric cars were often viewed as slow, limited, and inconvenient. Tesla chose a different approach. Instead of beginning with an inexpensive city car, it introduced an electric sports car. The Tesla Roadster reached customers in 2008. It was expensive and produced in relatively small numbers, but it demonstrated that an electric vehicle could be fast, attractive, and exciting. The Model S followed in 2012. Model 3 deliveries began in 2017. Tesla did not invent the electric automobile. Its major achievement was forcing the world's largest car manufacturers to take electric vehicles seriously. Companies that had spent generations building gasoline engines began investing billions of dollars in batteries, charging networks, and electric vehicles. But Tesla's rise also created an unusual risk. The identity of the company became almost impossible to separate from Elon Musk. When he announced a new product, expectations rose. When deadlines passed, critics grew louder. When he posted a message online, billions of dollars in market value could move. Musk was not simply selling cars. He was selling a vision of what transportation might eventually become. At SpaceX, he was selling an even larger vision. For most of spaceflight history, major rocket components were used once and then discarded. SpaceX wanted to make rockets reusable. The early landing attempts ended with boosters exploding, falling over or crashing into the ocean. Then, on December 21, 2015, a Falcon 9 rocket launched 11 satellites. After completing its work, the first stage turned around and descended toward Cape Canaveral. Its engines fired, its landing legs opened. The booster landed vertically. A rocket stage had helped send a payload toward orbit and then returned to Earth standing upright. It looked like a film being played backward. SpaceX continued recovering and reusing Falcon boosters until something once considered extraordinary began to look routine. Then came another historic moment. On May 30, 2020, NASA astronauts Robert Behnken and Douglas Hurley launched aboard a SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft. It was the first crewed orbital launch from American soil since the Space Shuttle program ended in 2011. A private company founded by an internet entrepreneur was now carrying NASA astronauts into orbit. But Musk's ambitions continued to expand. In 2022, he purchased Twitter in a transaction valued at approximately $44 billion. The acquisition closed on October 27th. Twitter became a private company. Large numbers of employees were dismissed. Rules changed, verification changed, and eventually the famous bluebird disappeared. Twitter became X. Musk said he wanted to transform it into a much larger application, combining communication, media, payments, and other services. Supporters saw someone challenging the previous leadership of an influential technology company. Critics saw one billionaire gaining control over a platform capable of shaping news, politics, and public opinion. A rocket failure may destroy expensive equipment. A social media platform can influence what millions of people believe is true. Then the companies began moving closer together. In March 2025, xAI acquired X. In February 2026, SpaceX acquired xAI. The publicly traded SpaceX group now connected rocket launches, Starlink satellite internet, artificial intelligence, and the enormous stream of information moving through X. That combination created an extraordinary possibility. Artificial intelligence requires enormous computing power and enormous amounts of data. X produces a constant flow of public conversations. Starlink provides satellite internet around the world. SpaceX controls the rockets capable of placing more satellites into orbit. Each business could potentially support the others. But that combination also created enormous costs. SpaceX reported approximately $18.7 billion in revenue for 2025. It also reported a net loss of approximately $4.9 billion. At the same time, the business generated approximately $6.8 billion in cash from operating activities. That meant the financial reality was more complicated than a single loss number. The group was spending heavily, particularly on artificial intelligence and the continued development of Starship, while its existing operations were still producing substantial cash. Investors were not paying only for what SpaceX had already built. They were paying for what they believed it might control in the future: global satellite internet, commercial space transportation, artificial intelligence, real-time information, and eventually transportation to the moon or Mars. That belief helped drive the company's enormous public offering. But the rapid fall from the stock's first peak revealed an important truth. Belief has a price, and investors can begin questioning that price very quickly. Musk's career has repeatedly followed the same pattern. Choose a problem that appears almost impossible. Announce a solution years ahead of conventional expectations. set an aggressive deadline, hire talented people, and force the organization to move with extreme speed. Sometimes that method creates a reusable rocket. Sometimes the deadline passes while the promise remains unfinished. The same pattern can be seen in Musk's other businesses. Neuralink is developing brain-computer interfaces intended to help people communicate directly with external devices. In January 2024, the company announced that it had implanted its device in a human participant for the first time as part of a clinical study. The Boring Company has developed underground transportation tunnels. Tesla has expanded into energy storage, artificial intelligence, and humanoid robots. Some of these ideas may become important industries. Others may take much longer than Musk predicts, and some may never fulfill their original promises. That tension is central to understanding Elon Musk. His willingness to disregard normal expectations has helped his companies accomplish things that once seemed unrealistic. But the same behavior has also created investigations, lawsuits, and regulatory conflict. In August 2018, Musk announced online that he was considering taking Tesla private at $420 per share and said funding had been secured. The United States Securities and Exchange Commission accused him of making false and misleading statements. Musk and Tesla reached separate settlements. Musk paid a $20 million penalty. Tesla paid another $20 million. Musk also stepped down as chairman of Tesla's board, although he remained chief executive. The incident demonstrated the danger of combining enormous corporate power with impulsive public communication. Supporters argue that Musk's refusal to follow conventional rules is precisely why his companies achieve things that others cannot. Critics argue that moving quickly becomes dangerous when promises advance faster than safety, evidence, or accountability. Both sides are reacting to the same characteristic. Musk does not accept limits easily. That refusal can create breakthroughs. It can also create consequences. Thousands of engineers, scientists, programmers, technicians, and factory workers have transformed Musk's ambitions into real machines. Elon Musk did not personally build every engine, battery, satellite, or artificial intelligence system. His unusual ability is convincing people to pursue goals that appear unreasonable. Online payments before they became normal. Desirable electric cars while gasoline dominated the roads. Reusable rockets when rockets were considered disposable. A private spacecraft capable of carrying NASA astronauts. And now, a publicly traded empire combining rockets, satellites, artificial intelligence, and global communication. SpaceX becoming public created a new test. Its achievements can now be measured by ordinary investors. Its finances must be reported. Its losses can no longer remain hidden inside a private valuation. And its promises will be judged by the market every trading day. The company's first weeks on the stock market demonstrated both the power and danger of belief in Elon Musk. Investors briefly pushed SpaceX beyond a $2 trillion valuation. Then the stock fell more than 32% from its peak. The company did not suddenly lose its rockets, satellites, or engineers. What changed was the price investors were willing to pay for its future. Perhaps Musk will be remembered as the entrepreneur who accelerated electric transportation and transformed commercial spaceflight. Perhaps he will also be remembered for promises that moved faster than reality and power, that expanded faster than accountability. Most likely, history will remember both. Because Elon Musk's real story is not simply about whether he is a hero or a villain. It is about what can happen when one person refuses to accept the limits of the present and gains enough money, machinery, and influence to challenge them. He has already changed how cars are powered. He has changed how rockets return to Earth. He has changed who can carry astronauts into orbit. Now, investors have placed trillions of dollars behind his attempt to change what comes next. The question is no longer whether Elon Musk can sell the future. He already has. The question is whether he can deliver it.